Well, as I said, thank you so much for the time that you've taken today. I'm really, really excited. I saw your LinkedIn profile. I saw what you're doing, and I was like, this is a really interesting topic that I hadn't really thought about. And I know that maybe some people might not have thought about it until it comes to the time. So I'll let you explain a little bit more, but I thought it was a really amazing opportunity for me to learn a little bit more about other views of life and different things to prepare for life. So thank you so much for joining me on the call today. I'm really excited.
Mushkan, I really appreciate sharing some time with you. I happen to be an attorney, and I've been a practicing attorney actually for over 50 years, specializing in all aspects of family law. And I still do a little bit of practicing. I also write. I've written 2 books. The first one is called Divorce Demystified, Everything You Need to Know Before You File for Divorce. This is actually a copy of the cover. That's on Amazon. The second one I co-wrote with Dr. Jack Haynes, who's a PhD child forensic psychologist, and it's called Child Custody, A Complete Guide for Parents. And what we do is analyze every aspect of custody from legal and psychological perspectives, including blended marriages, same-sex issues, grandparent issues, unmarried couples. So it really covers just about every issue. I had a show called Practical Law, which won some awards, and I shot at Bloomfield Cable. About 3 years ago, I woke up one morning and told my wife, I'm getting older, I'd like to do something different. We came up with the title Gracefully Graying, and I started shooting video interviews of people looking at all the issues that we face as we're getting older or have aging parents from medical, legal, economic, social, and psychological perspectives. 2 years ago, I teamed up with a graphic designer named Lori Bloom, who's my partner, and we've created a website. We do interviews. We have a website that's called gracefullygraying.com. If you look at the background, that's kind of the background. We are doing interviews literally all over the world of people who are experts in just about every aspect of our lives. We also have on our team Lila Lazarus, who was the Channel 7 health reporter for many, many years. And she's now the health reporter. She's teamed up with us. She's also tied in with the healthcare system of St. Joseph Mercy. And she is now doing medical interviews and health-related interviews. We have just teamed up and we're partnering up with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, where we are providing them with videos for their site, and they are giving us access to their podcasts and their blogs. And we are adding content almost every day on our site, to the extent that now there are over 160 video interviews on the site, and we have dozens and dozens of blogs. And we're reaching out to try and build this as the go-to site for every issue that people face as they're getting older or have aging parents. Things like housing. Do you move or do you age in place? What if you have, sorry about that, thought the phone was off. Oh, I have to call that one later. I'm sorry about the interruption.
No worries.
It's like I work basically remotely. I'm tied in with a law firm now, the law firm of Lips and Nielsen, but I do everything remotely. And I have access to a full staff. The firm has 40 attorneys actually, and I'm of counsel. But I do practice law to some degree, but my main passion is gracefully graying and trying to build this asset and this audience. And we're actually looking for someone to help us market for sponsorships. And that's the next step that we're building on. We do have sponsors, but we're trying to build a huge network of sponsors to help us grow. And that's what we're doing. One thing you asked me about, I happen to be a lecturer, I'm an author, I'm an attorney, and I'm creative. And one of the things you said what would you advise someone who's 18 or 19? And before the show, I was mentioning to you that we have 2 grandchildren. We have a granddaughter who just graduated Cranbrook and will be going to the University of Colorado in Boulder in August. We have a grandson who's just turned 22, and he just graduated from the Broad School of Business at Michigan State University, and he's right now looking for work. And it's a big world out there, and it's a different world. So when I started out, of course, there was no internet. There were very little out there. And, you know, I had decided many, many years ago that I wanted to be a lawyer, and I became a lawyer, and I'm very proud of what I've done in my career. And I guess what I would say to someone, there's a whole world out there. You don't have to be rigid about things. You can be creative. I mean, Muskan, what you're doing is creative. You've decided you want to build a business, and there's no reason why a 17 or 18-year-old cannot build a business. I mean, the internet and what we're doing with social media, with the fact that you can Zoom anywhere at any time, gives opportunities that just didn't exist a generation ago. And so it's a matter of be creative, seize the moment. There's no reason why someone who's young can't try things. And I guess some of the things I would say, and I have written some notes because I thought about what we're saying, is be bold. Don't hesitate to accept challenges. Life is challenging, and meet it full force. Do things that are important. I mean, if you want to build a business, build a business. If you want to have a college education, definitely go for it. If you want to become a professional. I mean, what's interesting, when I grew up, I graduated from the University of Michigan Law School in 1968. At that point, in my class of 365, there were only 9 women. It's a different world now. Over 50% of all law school graduates are women. In the medical profession, there were no women. Women became nurses, teachers, social workers. It's a different world. And for a woman, there's no reason why a woman cannot do anything. I mean, accept challenges. Look at the idea that life is short and make the most of every day. And I know when you're younger, it seems like everything takes forever, but in a blink of an eye, things go by and things change drastically. And, you know, my advice really is seize the moment, do things that you want to do, enjoy life, find a balance between whether it's studying, whether it's building business, but also have time for friends, have time for family, keep an open mind. The way to learn is to listen to others. If someone has a different opinion, you may disagree, but at least listen to them, hear someone out. Maybe you'll learn something from that person. Don't be afraid to ask for and accept advice. Having a mentor in building a business can be very, very important. I mean, we all make mistakes. And I think one thing that I would tell you, if you try something and it fails, don't be discouraged. You know, pick up the pieces and move on. Say, maybe this wasn't right, or maybe it wasn't right for me, or maybe it's something I did wrong. But don't be discouraged. Learn from your mistakes. I mean, I've made mistakes. I've always believed that be an optimist rather than pessimist. Look at the glasses more than half full, not half empty. I know so many people my age and younger are now retired. Age is a number. I mean, whether you're 18, whether you're 19, whether you're 20, or whether you're 80, I know many people who are in their 50s and 60s who are just waiting to pass on. That's no way to be. You can be vibrant at any age. I mean, Frank, I'm 79, and there's no reason why retirement, it's a bad word to me. It's like, as long as I can do things, why not? Why not be creative as long as you can?
Yeah.
As an 18 or 19-year-old, you have many, many wonderful years ahead of you, and start. If there are ideas that are going through your head, use them. Think of ways to be creative. Think of the ways to move forward, to build your life. Make the most of every day. I think that's very, very important. Uh, you know, divide your time, learn to be goal-oriented, but also learn that you can't be just driven so you're working 24/7 and ignoring everything else. Uh, Family is important, friends are important, relationships are important. And these are all things that I would recommend to you and to all of your viewers. Are there some questions you'd like to ask of me now, Muskan?
No, I think that you explained it all so well, and I think I learned a lot, and I think that was really, really great. I really loved how you're talking about being creative, and there's an entire world out there. There's definitely a few things that I thought of when you mentioned that, especially when you mentioned retirement and how, you might as well be creative as long as you can, because my dad, his dad, my grandpa in India, he retired when he was around about 56, I think. And he didn't pass until he was, I think, closer to 80, almost 90. And he really didn't have much to do after because he's just like, I'm retired. That's it. And my dad was like, I don't really see that fitting me. So my dad, he turns, I think, 60 this fall. And he's like, I can keep working for another 20, 30 years because I just love what I do. I enjoy it, which I really thought was really powerful from hearing from so many different angles that there's so much to life, especially when you're young and you think, oh, there's only like everything has to go by so fast, but it will go by fast eventually. So I thought that was really great what you shared.
I think it's important to have a passion. And you can have a
Mm,
passion at any age. I mean, a passion can be building a business. I mean, I have friends uh, who they're doing creative things. One I know is into photography. Another one is builds dollhouses and gives them away, believe it or not. Another one is in metalworking. Uh, so there are so many things you can do. I mean, be creative. There don't have to be boundaries. You don't have to be limited by age. As long as you have your faculties and can, make some semblance of what you're doing, do it. And there's no reason why you can't go for it. I mean, to me, Gracefully Graying is a passion project. I'm working on turning it into a business. I'm looking for people who are willing to spend money to become sponsors and to build it, with the idea being that everyone has an idea to share. And on each of the videos that we do, there's some substance. They're important ideas. Some of the videos, for example, I interviewed a videographer from London, England, who's written books. He wrote a book on Detroit. So, there's so many, everyone has an idea, everyone has a project. And what I'm trying to do is help people explore these projects, these ideas, the idea that some people have physical disabilities. Well, do you need to live in an assisted living home, or can you retrofit your house? So perhaps you put in an elevator, perhaps you put in, there are devices to help you on stairs. There's so many things out there. And the whole idea that what we're doing with Graceful Graying is putting everything together. So in one community, you can find all these resources, all these services, and all these ideas. So that's what I'm passionate about, and that's what I'm working on now.
that's really great, and I can definitely see a need for that. That makes a lot of sense. A few years, not a few years ago, last year, my grandma passed, and we had a lot to do with before even then because we were taking care of her. My family, my mom and my aunt were taking care of her full time, and there's definitely a lot that goes into it. So I think what you're doing is really awesome.
Were you born here or in India?
I was born here in the States.
Okay. So your parents are from India.
No, my dad's from India and my mom's from China.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're truly international.
I am. I was born and raised in Michigan.
Well, that's nice.
Yes, it's definitely really awesome. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you taking the few minutes out of your day to spend it with me and talk about such an important topic and a lot of different great advices for young people out there, especially when they're not really sure what to do. But like you said, there's so much out there in the world that you can do nowadays, and there's no reason why you can't do them. So again, thank you so much for the time today. I had a blast.
Thank you. I really enjoyed talking to you, and I wish you the best of luck. And if you ever want to talk about any other subjects, please feel free to contact me.
I definitely will. Thank you so much.
Okay.